welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I'm Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. Today's episode's a post-fight show for UFC on Fox. VanZant versus Waterson. UFC women's strawweight bout of the ages. Two top-ranked UFC women's strawweight fighters going at it for a shot at getting closer, that much closer to a title shot against, well, for the time being, Joanna Jędrzejczyk. And yeah, this was a just amazing main card. The prelims, though, the prelims are just a decision fest that was driving me nuts. You know, the Colby Covington fight was good, but it was just like, you know, I just wanted a submission at least, you know, but I mean, it is what it is. I like Colby Covington. He's one of my favorite fighters. It was awesome to watch him do all the takedowns, but I just wish something happened. I mean, I get it. It happens sometimes. Mizuta Rota, that threw me off for sure. I thought Cole Miller had that one in the bag. And then Leslie Smith, I didn't see that one coming. But that one, okay, that one went to a decision, but that was fun to watch. Then, the Fight Pass prelims with Eddie Wineland and Takeya Mizugaki in the bantamweight division. Yeah, Eddie Wineland getting the big TKO victory in the first round. That was exciting. I was happy for him, being a proud Texan myself, seeing a Texan win. And yeah, so this is an episode about the main card, though. And it's a post-fight rundown of the main card, and the main card was just sparks flew all over the place. So let's get started, shall we? So the main event was a women's strawweight bout between Michelle Waterson, the Karate Hottie, versus Paige, 12-gauge Paige VanZant. Paige VanZant is the one that everyone knew in the public eye from the commercials and Dancing with the Stars. Michelle Waterson was famous for American Ninja Warrior and her stint in Invicta FC, being the Atomweight champion of the world. And then she went to the UFC, and she's had some big waves there. And it was just sort of like people in the know seemed to know about her more so than Paige. And I picked on my pre-fight, if you watch my pre-fight, I picked Michelle Waterson to win because her karate background I knew would get her through this. I thought it was going to be a unanimous decision where she just picked Paige apart for 5 rounds. Oh boy. She picked her apart in the first round and then submitted her. Technical submission, rear naked choke, round 1. I mean, she did a great job of getting her back and then working in that rear naked choke. And it was just amazing. I was really impressed by Michelle Waterson in this fight. I was happy for her. I again picked her to win. I like Paige too, don't get me wrong. You know, it's sad to see her lose, but I think she'll bounce back, and she has plenty of years left in her fight career, and she knows it, the fans know it, and she knows that at least most of us, including myself, are in her corner, no pun intended. Yeah. So Michelle Waterson, she wins, and she definitely gets into that top 10 in the women's strawweight division. She's much deserved to get in that top 10. She's worked hard for it. She's paid her dues. And I think she has a few good years left in her career. She's been fighting for years and years, and she has a few good years left in her career, and she could make a run at that title for sure, if not 2 runs, depending on how her career grows. Then in the co-main event in the welterweight division, we had Mickey Gall versus Sage Northcutt. And going back to the proud Texan thing. Okay, I'm still proud of Sage Northcutt. Man, I wish he kept the distance a little bit more. Yeah, Mickey Gall did his thing. He shot in for those takedowns, and he doesn't even really care. He'll telegraph a takedown. He knows he'll just keep working at it until he gets it. Mickey Gall did his thing, got the takedowns, made Sage work off his back. Round 2, submission, rear naked choke. Wow. I like Mickey Gall. I'm glad he beat CM Punk. The Mike Jackson fight, Didn't matter to me who won there. I was happy either way. This one, I like Mickey Gall, but I preferred Sage Northcutt to win, and I picked him on my pre-fight show. Mickey Gall is the real deal. I hope he gets Dan Hardy in his next fight, or in sometime in his career. Mickey Gall is the real deal. I am buying into the Mickey Gall hype at this point. Mike Jackson, okay, he was an experienced fighter. CM Punk, obviously not either. Sage Northcutt is an experienced fighter, and to submit him in the second round like that, very impressive. And 3 fights in the UFC now, 3 finishes, all impressive. Just going for it. The guy's the real deal. UFC, give Mickey Gall whatever he wants next. I think it's definitely worth noting, and if you put him up against a top talent and he falls, he'll bounce back, and he's still a young kid and he still has plenty of years left, and you just build him up even more. So Mickey Gall's a real deal. Then in the bantamweight division, we had Uriah Faber versus Brad Pickett. Uriah Faber, I pretty much figured he would dominate this fight, and he did. He won unanimous decision. It was 30-26 across the board. He just out-grappled Brad Pickett, and, no pun intended, but I guess you could say picketed him apart. I know, bad joke. Uriah Faber, though, yeah, did exactly that. Went in, got the takedowns, and just ground and pounded him, and got a decision victory in Sacramento. Go out with a bang. I'm happy for Uriah Faber. You've had a great career. I wish you were able to win the UFC belt, but I think looking at your career, hey, no shame in losing to Dominic Cruz, and no shame in the guys that you lost to, and then the guys that you beat. That was very impressive, and each and every time you gave it your all, and I'm proud of you, Uriah. I wish you the best of luck, bro. You're a cool guy, and it's great. I got to watch you live at UFC 157, and I got to watch you live at UFC 199, fighting Dominic Cruz in the 3rd fight in the trilogy. And each time you gave it your all, and I'm real proud of you, and you never let the fans down. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, bro. You're awesome. We'll miss you in that cage, but I'm sure we'll see you around in other adventures in your life, and yeah, best of luck, bro. Uriah Faber went out with a bang. Then, to kick off the main card, in the welterweight division, we had Alan Jouban versus Mike Perry. This one, I was so happy Alan Jouban won. Nothing against Mike Perry, but just, again, I gotta root for Kenny Johnson's guys. Bolt Wrestling, bro. Bolt Wrestling is awesome. And Alan Jouban did his thing. He kept the fight standing. He picked his shots, landed some great leg kicks throughout the whole fight. Slowed down Mike Perry, then teed off on him with some good strikes. 29-28 and 30-27 on the other 2 judges. Great job. It was a good fight to kick off this main card on Fox. So good job, Alan Jouban. And yeah, like Alan Jouban said, you know, he deserves a big name in his next fight. I say he's paid his dues in the UFC. Give him a big name. Give him a top-ranked guy in the UFC. And good job, Kenny, bro, if you're watching, training this guy and all your other fighters on the UFC roster, and you know, in other organizations as well. So that wraps up the post-fight show for UFC on Fox, VanZant versus Waterson. Stay tuned for my pre-fight in the coming days for UFC 207, Rousey versus Nunes for the UFC Bantamweight Championship, with a co-main event of Cruz versus Garbrandt for the Men's Bantamweight Championship. And maybe I'll throw in another episode before that, since there's a big gap. Kind of a surprise episode. You'll just have to tune in and watch. So until then, see ya.